second country today. Yeah, here we go. As we're on Morocco. Not Morocco, we've already done Morocco. But now we're on Qatar. Here. We're on starting off with history as usual. As discoveries have been made that indicates that prehistoric humans have lived in Qatar. As evidence has also been found that ancient Qataris engaged in barter-based trading mostly on pottery and dried fish, and during the 7th century Israel and peoples converted to Islam, and during the medieval period Qatar was an attractive participant in the Persian Gulf Indian Ocean commerce. As the British established themselves in Qatar because the territory was a good vantage point in their route to the colony in India. During the 19th century, the Al Khalifa clan from Bahrain controlled the northern peninsula. As the Qataris rose up in revolt against the Al Khalifas, they in turn sent a massive naval force against them. The rebels were defeated, but the British intervened and a series of negotiations ensued, and as a result the state of Qatar was founded on December 18th, 1878, and the Qataris chose an entrepreneur named Mohammed bin Tiny as negotiator between the British and Bahrain. As a clan and his clan Bani soon became the ruling dynasty of Qatar. And in 1968, when the British officially announced its political disengagement within the Persian Gulf, Qatar joined the Federation, which includes Bahrain and 7 other states. As disagreements with the Federation made Qatar leave and declare its independence on 3rd of September 1971, and in 1995 Hamid bin Khalifa Al Thani seized power from his father Khalif bin Mohammed Al Thani. While on vacation in Switzerland and under his rule, the country enjoyed some amount of socio-political liberalisation, like the right to vote and all. And yeah, moving on to legends. As a couple of centuries ago, Qatar's capital was one of the many key seafront settlements of the eastern coast of the peninsula, and its neighbouring settlement Al Bida were close in proximity that British historians often confuse the two. Well before oil and gas were discovered, Doha and its neighbours lived on pearl diving, and were known for being trade routes between the British Empire and India, much to the dismay of the Ottoman Empire. As the privileges that they enjoyed today are in a large part due to the resilience of their ancestors, as the harsh conditions they all enjoyed goes far beyond the cool desert heat. And while the men in the family set off for prolonged journeys, the woman stayed behind and took care of all the chores of the house and all that, without any promises to either being reunited. And due to the severity of desert life, people of Arab Arabian Peninsula would never turn away guests, and often created shelter until they were ready to move on, as Arab hospitality comes from how far we would go for our guests, providing them with scarce food we have, which if it means we let some people starve in their place. And it's kind of largely dependent on oral tradition, as the history of Arabs is told through both prose and poetry, as folklore has no exceptions now. As we're going to be talking about Budreya and Hamrat al-Gaila, which comes from that period and highlights the difficulties shared by those who live not only in Qatar but throughout the Arabian Gulf, with each area having a slightly different take on the story. Yeah, and if you ask about folk tales and all, Baudrillard and Hamarat Gaila were probably two of those that come to mind. As Baudrillard is also, as it starts out in open waters of the Arabian Gulf, as the seafarers are fast asleep after a long day's diving for pearls, as the precious hours are key to recuperate before dawn arrives, and you have to start all over again as a grueling cycle that keeps going for months on end. What's in the pitch darkness? Going back to where we were, as my sister's just got back and all. As a cycle of diving for the pearls can go on for months on end, and the pitch darkness of the night a loud scream was heard and waking one of the divers on board, as he understands it to be an urgent cry of help by a drowning crew member, and he quickly jumps towards the direction of the voice, and diving deeper into the darkness he meets his fate at the hands of the monster behind the faint cries. But Baudrillard, Persian for meaning father of the seas, is calling on a vicious deep sea creature able to summon the winds and control the waters. In some tales he visits the sailors on deck while they sleep, killing any who dare lay eyes on him. In other tales, Baudrillard casts incurable ills on the seas, from nausea to hallucinations, and it is said that few who see Baudrillard and live are bad luck on any ship, forcing them to hide their tales even from their loved ones. And then the second one that we'll be going through now is Hamarat al-Gaila, and known by many names like Hamarat al-Gaila, Hamarat being female donkey and Gaila like noontime, or simply Hamar or donkey lady. It tells the story of a half woman, half donkey creature who seeks out and eats kids. So yeah, kind of reminds me of one I did just now in Morocco, as parents, particularly mothers, warn their children from venturing outside the house when the sun is high, as the creature's time to lurk in neighbourhoods wearing all black. Her telltale sign is the sound of hooves that send kids fleeing in fright. No one knows her true origins, but the cunning and deceitful donkey lady is known for knocking on doors when parents are taking their noon nap after a long morning's work, as she approaches homes and cries out to kids for their help, begging for water or food. And if they do as they are told and not open the door to strangers, Hamar begins to bang on it, instilling fear in their hearts. In some versions of the story, she turns into a lizard, but is able to climb the wall onto the other side, or is accompanied by 3 black dogs. As both the tales can illustrate how difficult desert life can be. And yeah. And we can also find lessons typical of folk tales that elders pass on to their children. And one lesson is particularly stands out and that is of the uncertainty of life and how quickly one's fate could change. And to survive is to stick to the familiarity of tribe and routine, and to stay clear of the unknown and either people or activity. And yeah, that Qatari history is largely oral based means much of these tales are passed down from one generation to another to survive. And due to the internet boom and globalisation, there has been been a considerable loss of the shared history, and some stories have been documented, including a few attempts at retelling stories for modern audiences. And for one example, in one remake, Humar hitchhikers on a highway to get into a car with teens too young to be driving. And the stories have also been translated into English and other languages, and some have turned into short films or like comics and all, in the hopes of making them more accessible. Yet, having survived this long, it's clear that Blu-ray and Humar aren't really going anywhere soon. And yeah, I'll see you shortly for American Samoa. So yeah, bye for now.